Good morning. We're starting our YouTube live stream today. My name is Kehinde Olalere, and that's my twin brother Taiwo Olalere. Barrister Taiwo Olalere. We're both Canadian immigration lawyers, and we're doing this first YouTube live stream due to popular demand by our YouTube fans, our subscribers. So we look forward to an exciting day today.
Yes.
So just to tell you a little bit about ourselves, I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer. I'm a graduate of Carleton University and also University of Windsor Law School. I have experience working in various government departments, including the Citizenship and Immigration Department as an immigration manager, settlement manager, and a citizenship manager. I've also been practicing immigration law for several years. I will also hand you over to my twin brother, who is also an immigration lawyer.
So I'm Barrister Taiwo Olalere. I've been practicing for the past 18 years, involved in various areas of immigration, immigrating to Canada. So I've dealt with study visas, visitors visas, study permit, work permits, permanent residence. I've even done a lot of federal court litigations. So if you're refused, this is the right place to be today, at least to learn about reasons why people are refused visas to Canada, common visa refusals. So I will also deal with appeals, various aspects of Canadian immigration. So please ask your questions. We'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
So just to start off, we want to put a disclaimer out there. Please know that the information that is being provided today is for general information purposes only and does not constitute professional legal advice or an opinion of any kind. If you need professional legal advice or opinion, it's better to contact our law office at +1 613 799 7572. Again, +1 613 799 7572.
And that number is also on WhatsApp. So you can reach us on WhatsApp. It's +1 613 799 7572. Again, +1 613 799 7572. That's our WhatsApp number. So individual consultations, you can reach us on that number.
So we're starting to see people come online. And we look forward to having an exciting time with you today. So please feel free to ask us any questions. In the meantime, we will start off with with the reason why we are here today, to learn more about visa refusals. Like, it depends on what type of application that you're doing. If you're doing an application outside Canada, it can be a study visa application, it can be a permanent residence application, it can be any kind of application, it can be study visa, visitors visa, work visa application, and you find that you've been refused. There may be good reasons why they refuse you. The decision may seem reasonable to you. So if you think that the decision was right, then maybe you want to try to reapply and stuff. But if you think that the decision does not make any sense to you in light of what you submitted, then maybe it's time to consult a lawyer and get individualized legal advice on what your option or options may be.
Yes, that's very, very important, to consult an immigration lawyer, someone who understands Canadian immigration very well. Like us, we've been doing it for the past 18 years, like I mentioned earlier. And we've seen various situations, when you think you've seen everything, another one crops up. So, so we're very happy to share, our knowledge a little bit, at least with you today. One of the reasons why most people are refused, like with regards to, whether it's permanent residence application or study visas or visitors visa or any kind of application for that matter, is failure to disclose previous refusals. So what do I mean by previous refusals? Well, you've applied to Canadian Embassy before for Canadian visa, and in your next application you fail to disclose that refusal in your application. That may lead to a 5-year ban from Canada. You've been refused visa to the United States, United Kingdom, or any other countries for that matter. Make sure you disclose those refusals. because if you fail to disclose them, it's a 5-year ban. So keep that in mind. The immigration department frowns on that greatly. So please make sure you disclose it. It doesn't mean your application, your current application that you're making will be refused, but failure to disclose definitely may lead to a 5-year ban.
Okay. So basically, we're getting a question here that asks, how long does it take to get visa approval? Well, that's a very difficult question to answer because we are not the decision maker. So we can't really tell you this how long it's going to take to get a visa approval or refusal for that matter. So what you need to do is if you want to get an idea of how long an application may take, you can go to the website for the immigration department, which is cic.gc.ca, cic.gc.ca, and there's you can find average processing time on that website. However, like all things, you can't say this how long it's going to take because it depends on the number of factors at the visa office. There may be a lot of staff turnover there. There may be staff may be on vacations. They may have limited staff. There's a lot of different government priorities. It also depends on how detailed your application is. Because if you don't have a detailed application that is very deficient, then they may request additional documentation or they may end up refusing your application as well. So it's very hard to say how long a application will take to process.
And also, like during this COVID period, you've seen that if you applied, you will notice that there's been delays in processing applications. So pandemics may also affect things that are outside of their control as well. May also may have an impact on the processing of your application. But if you think your application is taking too long, outside the average processing time, definitely you need to consult a lawyer. Immigration lawyers at our office will be happy to do a consultation with you. It's 1 hour consultation, so and there's a fee for that. So reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Consultation is a way to at least find out some information about your situation and then know the immigration options that may be available to you.
So another thing that you have to keep in mind is in terms of the time that you have to file to challenge the negative decision. If you have been refused, you have to think about how long do you have to file a challenge to that refusal. Keep in mind that Canada is a nation of laws, so there are rules, regulations, and all those things that you have to follow. So if you've been refused visa, it's very important that you reach out to a lawyer to advise you as to by what time you have to file a challenge to the negative decision. One thing you have to keep in mind is that, depending on what your situation is, the time to file that application for leave and judicial review, that's what we call it, an application for leave and judicial review at the federal court, the timeline to file that may differ. So, for example, someone that basically is refused a study visa coming to Canada usually has 60 days from the date that the decision was communicated to him or her to file that application for leave and judicial review. And if you're late in filing, then you have to be asking for an extension of time and stuff like that. I don't usually want to deal with that. It's better to just make sure that you file your application for leave and judicial review within the timelines. So if you have to file for an extension of time, it's possible, but it's just going to cost you more money. So it's better to just make sure that when you refuse and you think that the decision is not reasonable, it does not make any sense based on what you submitted, quickly consult a lawyer at our law office to give you advice as to what your option or options are and the timeline that you have to file it. So our phone number again is +1613 799 7572. You can also reach us on WhatsApp at that number. I think a question is coming from one of our viewers here.
Yeah, the question is, visa ban in the UK, does it affect your chance of getting Canadian visa? Again, the main thing is to disclose this general information, that I've mentioned earlier. The main thing is to make full disclosure in your Canadian visa applications. Definitely, if you don't do a full disclosure on your Canadian visa application, you're very likely to be refused on your Canadian visa application. So make full disclosure. I've had clients in the past that were refused in other countries or even Canada or were refused even Canadian visas, and subsequently when we represented them, we were able to get them a visa to Canada. So disclose, disclose, disclose. That's the main thing. So if you fail to disclose, definitely you're jeopardizing your chances of getting to Canada.
And one thing you have to keep in mind is that why does Canada take this seriously? The reason why it takes this seriously is that it goes to the program integrity. So it goes to the integrity of the Canada's immigration program. So it's very important that you disclose it. You can't say, "Oh, my agent, didn't mention it," or "My agent was the one that did that," or "My agent is the one that did." It doesn't matter. It's inputted to you. You sign the application. You're responsible for what is in the content of your application. So you take ownership of it. So, "Oh, I didn't have intention to lie. I just made an innocent mistake." Well, likelihood is that you're still going to get the 5-year ban and stuff. And if you want to challenge it because it's an uphill battle,
Yes,
the
yes,
likelihood of success is very low. So
yes.
you have to keep that in mind as well.
So I've only had two situations whereby I was able to help those individuals to overcome that negative decision at the federal court, and they were very, very fast specific. Very their situation demanded it that the decision should be set aside and another officer should take a second look at it. So in my career, I think I've only dealt with two situations like that that I was successful in. So please make sure that you do the right thing by making full disclosure.
Exactly. We don't usually want to take on those type of cases where the client, the person basically, just fail to disclose, thinking that they won't find out and stuff. It's not really, we'll be honest with the person when they do a consultation with us. The likelihood of your success is probably low. So
Yes.
there's no point, when you intentionally fail to disclose your visa refusal, visitors visa, you're applying for visitors visa to Canada, you fail to disclose a visa refusal to the United States or to Canada or to Australia or to any other country for that matter, then you took your chance basically. So you have to look at that before you start saying you want to challenge your case, and how before you spend your money as well
Exactly.
on hiring a lawyer.
Exactly.
So one other thing, let's move on that. I think a question is coming from one of our viewers here. What factors should we take in mind when we apply for visiting visas? So we're going to provide you general information about that as well.
So the main thing in a visa application is basically to demonstrate your ties to the country that you're in, your city where you're residing. If you're a citizen of Jamaica and you're applying from Jamaica, then make sure that you demonstrate your ties to the country. Something that would motivate you back to return back to your country after your visit to Canada. So ties include, your family. Do you have family back in Jamaica? Do you have assets like land, property, a business, a shop, whether a store, for example, in Jamaica? Do you have are you a member of particular organizations, religious organizations? Do you have documentation, letters uh, with regards to that in your application? So everything that you say, you have to back up with evidence to demonstrate the ties. Do you have money in your bank account? They want to see your financial statements, your bank statements, investment certificates if you have them. There's so many things that you have to really consider here. Are you a beneficiary of something that definitely you can't, that ties you to your country? So you look at all those factors that ties it to your country, and you make sure that you provide it as part of your documentation to the visa office. And of course, how long are you coming to visit for? Is it in a short period, or you're asking for a long, long period, like 6 months or 1 year? So does the period of visit, does it really make sense? If you're coming as a tourist and you're asking for 6 months visit, are you really a tourist? That's a question that I would ask if I was a visa officer. Or you're coming for 2 weeks if you're a tourist. That seems reasonable. So, like, what binds you? Do you have work experience back home? Are you working back home? Do you have proof of that? Are you a business owner? Do you have proof of that? You know, included in your application. So those are some of the factors. We've done some YouTube videos in the past on this subject matter. So you can always visit our YouTube channel, Olalere Law, to look at our videos on that. And of course, there may still be questions because it's just general information, fast specific. You definitely need a consultation. So reach out to us again on WhatsApp +1 613 799 7572.
So, like my brother said, every case is fact specific. So, whether it's, if you're saying you're coming for 2 weeks or you're coming for 6 months, like we will look at this, the person, we can advise you about what we think about the reasonableness of that period of visit, given what you say your purpose of visit is. So, a 6 month may be reasonable in some situation, it may not be reasonable in another person's situation. So, everything is fact specific. It's not like science where you say 1 + 1 = 2. So it's more like an art where you're doing the painting and stuff, and you're trying to make the case based on the person's profile and stuff like that. So every case is different, and it would be it not be correct of us to say that, oh, this is what we make it work.
Exactly. And the thing is this, each person's purpose of visit is different. Some people may be coming to visit, just to view Canadian sites, like tourist sites. So do you have a plan of that? Do you have, something that shows that actually you're coming to visit? Do you have a plan of your visit, right? The purpose of your visit. Is it someone that's coming to visit a relative? Do we have documentation from the relative that they're inviting them? How long they're going to be staying for?
Or they're coming to visit their
Or
spouse.
they're coming to visit their spouse again. So that's very important. Is it, someone that's coming to visit a sick relative, for example? So do we have documentation from the sick relative, from the doctors of the sick relative? So those are things that you have to look. Sometimes, sometimes people want to come here to explore business opportunities. Okay, do you have letters from those that are inviting you to, that you want to partner with or that you want to explore these business opportunities with? So there's various reasons why people want to come to Canada. It's not, set criteria. You have to demonstrate the purpose of your visit
And your ties to your own country that will motivate you to return back to your country of nationality or country of residence. And usually there's when you think about it, visit is temporary. It's not going to be permanent. So there's a start date and an end date. So what would make the visa officer believe that you're satisfied that you're going to be motivated to return back or incentivized to return back to your country of nationality or country of residence? Because it's a judgment call. At the end of the day, it's a discretionary decision. So you have to make your case. You have the burden of proving your situation. But we have a very nice YouTube video on that, applying for visiting visa. We went into detail about that, provided a lot of general information about that. So look for our YouTube videos that we have on our channel on that subject matter. If you have more questions about that, and if you want specific legal advice tailored to you, contact us for a consultation, and by sending us a message in our WhatsApp number +1 613 799 7572. Again, +1 613 799 7572. There's a question coming up here. I wanted to ask if you want a permanent stay in Canada. So I'll click on that, and then there's another question after that that my brother will touch on. Basically, again, everybody's situation is different. There's no straight jacket for everybody that says, "Oh, if you want to do permanent stay, this is what you're gonna do." No, it depends on what the program is. Let's say you're being sponsored by your spouse or common law partner or conjugal partner who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident of Canada. Well, that's the sponsorship route. That's where you're gonna get permanent residence that way. You through the sponsorship program. If you are a professional and you want to come to Canada and stuff, it may be through the express entry program. So that's another whole bunch of criteria. It may be that different programs to get permanent residence. There's people that come in as self-employed persons to come to Canada. So every program is different. So the best way I always tell people is contact us, schedule a consultation. We look at your profile, we look at your background, then we advise you as to the best, as to the options that may be available to you to migrate to Canada, and tell you what is involved there and stuff. So that question, I won't be able to, of course, I can't give specific legal advice on this channel. So I can only give general information only. And just to read you, for those of you that are just joining us, we just said, mentioning our disclaimer again. Please note that the information being provided today is for general information purposes only and does not constitute professional legal advice or an opinion of any kind. For professional legal advice, please contact us to schedule a consultation. Thank you.
So moving to the next question. I think there's a question here: is the invitation required visit? If I do have answer, is it good to ask for a visit or just plan for a visit? Again, that will depend on your specific situations. I think we answered that question by talking about what type of documentations are required for a study visa or for a visitor's visa. So that depends on you. You have to actually look at your own situation. If you think you need consultation on that, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer that. There's the next question here. It says, admissions have closed, and it's going to open. When will it open? I mean, there's admissions for going on for January now and May and stuff like that. Um, so look out for that. That's very important. How much do you need in your bank account for a visit visa? For a study visa, well, usually I can't give a figure, but one thing you need to keep in mind is your school fees for 1 year. You must have that amount in your bank account. At least, even if the program is 2 years, you must demonstrate at least 1 year of school fees. And living expenses, you're looking about $10,000 to $12,000. I think they just increased it from $10,000 to a little bit now. So just at least have at least about 12, 13,000 in your bank account for that. So the main thing is to have sufficient funds for your first year of studies, school fees plus living expenses.
Yes,
for 1 year.
Exactly. So your school fees for 1 year, definitely there's a policy manual there on that is publicly available that says that it's you have to have at least for the first year of your school fees, even if it's 2 year program, for example, 3 year or 4 year program, at least have enough to cover your first year tuition fees and then plus your living expenses. Sometimes the schools will provide you information on what the living expenses look like and stuff like that, but at least have 10,000 and above for each year of study. If you have family members, there's going to be additional amounts that are required. I can't go into detail with that, so I don't know. I can't give specific legal advice, but what you can do is, if you want to get more in details about this, please contact us and we look at your situation and then be able to advise you as to what is required and stuff. But again, you have to have enough money to pay your tuition fee. You have to have enough money to meet your living expenses, your educational expenses, living expenses. You have to have enough money for your return flight ticket to your country as well. But again, there's nothing like set in stone. So again, it's not 1+1 = 2 kind of situation. You have to look at the present situation, be able to pay your school fees. If you're coming to study, at least you have to be able to pay your school fees. You have to have enough money to sustain yourself while you're in Canada as well. So, and those numbers may change, like the living expenses may change, but I think it's about 10,000 and above or something like that. Okay.
Yeah. So the next question is: can the person after studies can person work full time pending when they get the postgraduate? This is not far specific. I'm not going to be answering that question. So that question is more, that person requires a consultation. So reach out to us. It's very, very technical. I can't, I have to have all the facts before I can provide an opinion on that. Okay.
So let's
keep your questions coming.
Keep your questions coming. So basically, one thing that I want to touch on a little bit is one of the reasons why a lot of people are also refused. What we see sometimes is that some people use like online sensed immigration consultants and they call themselves agents in many of these countries, and they are not recognized by Canada as even authorized to represent individuals to apply for visas. And when you see the application that, when the people consult me and I look at what they've packaged together, sometimes it's just so messy that, there's no point even challenging that decision. But because these people put themselves out as, they call themselves agents. Even in Canada, they don't call them agents. Like, it's either you're an immigration consultant or immigration lawyer. So, but they call them visa agents in most of these countries. And the package, the application is highly deficient. and then the refusers come and sometimes there's errors in there, or these agents put in fraudulent documents to boost your case chances, boost your chances, and then the immigration department discovers these fraudulent documents and issues you a 5-year ban. That means you have to wait 5 years, even if it's your agent that did all this mess. You recruited the agents, the person is not a professional, they did what they did, and now you're suffering the consequences. So, and then you're ready to pay any amount of money now to fight the case but it doesn't make a difference at that point. Instead of having to pay twice, why don't you reach out to a lawyer, immigration lawyer? Of course, there's immigration consultants there, but immigration consultants are not immigration lawyers. We have a YouTube video on that, and the difference between an immigration lawyer and immigration consultant in Canada. There's a big difference.
Yes.
Check out our YouTube channel on that. So our YouTube video on that. So now they refuse, and then they're in a mess,
A complete mess.
complete mess. So we will look at your situation. If there's something we can do, we'll let you know. We don't provide any guarantees. These visa agents will guarantee. How can they guarantee something when they're not the visa officer or the immigration officer? I don't really know. So that should even be a red alert to you. But because you were so desperate, they feed on your emotions. So you sign up with them, and then you get the result that you get. Sometimes they will make it through. When you really throw 10 applications, the one may make it through. And that one application that they got successful, that's what they're going to be telling you. I got visa for this person. I got visa for that person. I got visa. But how many people have they ruined their lives out of those 10 people? You don't hear about that, right? So be very careful. Spend your money wisely. You worked hard for it.
So that's very important. What my brother just said is very important. He's speaking from experience, having worked in the immigration department himself, in the government immigration department, supervising immigration officers, and also working in the private sector for several years. I've done the same thing. Like I work in federal government departments, but I've never worked in the immigration department. He has worked in there, and I've worked as an immigration lawyer for the past 18 years. So what he said there is very, very important. You have to keep in mind, the immigration department, at the very least, we check your bank statements. If the bank statements are not genuine, definitely it's not even going to look further into your application whether you have a genuine purpose of coming to. If your agent submitted the bank statement, that's irrelevant. You will get penalized. Okay. So bank statements, that one you can be rest assured they're gonna check. They're gonna check your previous visa refusals. Have you been refused visa to Canada or any other country before? That you failed to do. Again, if I was a visa officer, what I'll first look at is, okay, has there been any refusals in the past by any Canadian, by any of the Canadian visa offices, or by other countries? If I see if the answer is yes, I won't even bother looking at other aspects of the application. That's the first thing I will reach out to the applicant and say, listen, I saw this information. Can you please explain yourself? They call it a PFL letter, procedural fairness letter. And if you can't explain yourself satisfactorily, I'm going to refuse the application. So there's no need for me to explore further. If I see a bank statement that is not genuine, why do I need to look at the whole application when I have a couple or maybe hundreds of applications that I have to go through after I just submit as a visa officer? So you want to present your best foot forward. Your agent is not responsible for what is submitted on your behalf. You are responsible for it. So we emphasize this a lot in our office. So when we take on your case, we need genuine documents. We don't want fake documents. Olalere Law Office has a good reputation and excellent representation, and we're not going to ruin it for one client. So keep that in mind.
A very important thing that my brother just mentioned visa officers have a number of applications they have to process in a day. They have targets that they have to meet. So as a visa officer, think about it. What am I going to do when I have all these applications I have to process in a day? The first thing I'm going to do is like, how can I process this application quickly? And I'm going to look at if I see trends, like people lying about their past visa refusals, if I see trends that the people are providing fake financial documents, I'm not going to go through the entire application. The first thing I'll go through is those two areas. Have you ever been refused? If you say no, and I discover that you've been refused, a PFL letter will go out, procedural fairness letter. And most likely, if I know that you're the type that have been applying 100 times, 5 times, 6 times, and now you made a mistake or you lied on that question, easy. Just issue a 5-year ban. Think about it. You've been applying a number of times, and now you lied about the visa refusal. What better way to stop you from applying that just issue you a visa ban for 5 years?
5 years.
So don't make a mistake, don't lie.
Exactly.
Very important.
And likewise, if I check and I see the bank statements are genuine, okay, check mark the previous refusals, you disclosed everything, or there's no refusal, and like it is confirmed when I checked everything.
That boosts your credibility.
Boosts your credibility. Thank
right?
you for that, Lord.
It boosts your credibility. So they will look at the other stuff, right? So I'm just telling you how things work so that you can understand a little bit. Okay, very, very important. So don't lie, please. Don't lie on your application. Very important. Don't lie on your application because the consequences are just too much. One of our viewers here asked for the website, our website and email address. I've sent you our website address, and I've also sent you our email address. It's public there. So if you guys need to copy it, please copy it. I'm going to put in our WhatsApp and phone number as well, so that you can have it. But it's also on our YouTube channel. All this information is also on our YouTube channel. If you need to check it and share with your friends, and share our YouTube channel with your friends. Don't be the only one with this information. Sharing information is power.
Yes,
it's light.
It's light, and you don't want them to fall victim to quacks. I call them quacks. I don't even call them agents. They are quacks because they put one and two together and it's all bogus. So how can you get a visa? So you don't want to deal with quacks. You want to deal with genuine people that really care about doing their best on your application. People who understand why you are even trying to achieve these goals. When you're coming to study, definitely you want to increase your knowledge. You want to
make your life better.
Increase your chances of getting into a good career. So what's motivating you? There's so many things motivating you for applying in the first place. So these quacks do not understand that. What they understand is just to collect your money and then run off with it. Sometimes they even change numbers. They change your phone numbers. They change your WhatsApp number. They keep picking up your calls. They even block you. So you don't want to become a victim. There's no time that people who are clients reach us to us that they're not able to reach us. At least we always tell them give us 24 to 48 hours to get back to you, because we're dealing with a lot of clients and we want to make sure that we do our best for each one person. Everyone is important to us. So if you reach out to us, definitely within 24 to 48 hours, we get back. If you reach out to us 2 minutes ago and then you expect an answer, we reply in 2 minutes because it's a text message and you say, okay, it should be instantaneous. That's not possible. Sometimes the time differences also have an impact too. You may have sent us a text at 6 a.m. in your country, and actually it's about 12 midnight, here in Canada, we are sleeping. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So, but that's the beauty of, dealing with international clients, all over the world and helping people to make Canada their dream.
So for all the people that are viewing us, we acknowledge you. I know that it's still different time zones that you're contacting us from. We recognize your participation today, because without you guys, there's really no YouTube live video, right? So we acknowledge all of you for participating on this YouTube live video. This is our very first YouTube live. Unfortunately, we can't comment on individual cases for confidentiality reasons, for solicitor client privilege. So even if you're a client and you are an existing client and you contact us on this YouTube channel, while you may talk about your case, we can't talk about your case. Okay, we can't even acknowledge that you're a client for confidentiality reasons. Okay, but we appreciate your support and joining us on this YouTube channel, every one of you.
Yes, it's very important to definitely thank them. They've been backbone supporting us over the years. We are up to almost 20,000 subscribers now. So we really appreciate your support.
Actually, we clocked 20,000 subscribers today.
Today.
Wow. I checked. So, and it's because of you guys that we're able to get up to 20,000 subscribers. In the last 2 years, we've reached now 20,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for believing in us and joining us and following us on our YouTube channel. Please tell your friends about us. We want to see whether we can reach 30,000 subscribers this year. Okay.
Yes, the word is actually spreading. It's spreading out there that we're doing, our best for everyone that comes on. So we'll keep doing our best for you. So please share the YouTube channel with your friends, your family, your work colleagues, anyone that you feel may need the information. I always tell people, when I talk about my father, it's an interesting story. You know, Even if you don't think you qualify, if you have that information, share it with your friends. It may be your friend that will get you to Canada. And that was the story of my dad. My dad was in the 70s. He was, in Nigeria. And basically his friend invited him to Belgium. And he didn't want to come to Belgium. He's never traveled in his whole life. And then, his friend was just pressuring him, come to Belgium, come to Belgium. And eventually his friend invited him to Belgium and he came to Belgium. And, the rest is history. He got to Belgium, from Belgium, he came to Canada to study. And then my mom joined him later, a year later, and they gave birth to us. That's how we became Canadian citizens. So you can see that it's just his friend that put him out from Nigeria, and that's how we became Canadian citizens. We were born here in Canada, and so we did we did return back with our parents to Nigeria, but at 18 years we came back to Canada and did our like a grade 13. It's almost like A levels, and then we did all our university studies here. So what am I saying here? You may not be the one that will, you know, that'll be the link to get into Canada. It may be your friend. So that's what I'm saying is share this information with your friends, your work colleagues. I've had clients in the past that, there was one, they told their friends about us. They came to Canada, told their friends, and then their friends also came to us and they got to Canada too. So it's all about sharing information, genuine people that are really out there to help people. That's Olalere Law Office. That's what we're known for.
Yeah, and we tell people too, like we always appreciate people reaching out to us and everything. And we also tell people that even if you don't end up hiring us for for representation, just make sure you get a good professional to represent you, right? So don't just go with that person is cheaper, so I'll go with that person. So at least look into their background and learn a little bit about whether they can represent you, whether they are even authorized to represent you and stuff like that, so that you don't end up spending money two times. Okay, so it's very very important. So
So there's an individual here that said, I'm one of your YouTube subscribers. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. So tell your friends and keep watching our YouTube channel.
So, like well, another thing I want to talk about with regards to visa refusals is that you will notice, let's say that you applied for, I will always just use examples. So I may use study visa a lot because, it's not because we do study visa only, but we do various areas of immigration law. But I just want to use that as an example. So you see that you apply for something and let's say they refused you, and your friends apply for the same thing and they refuse your friend too. And then another friend apply for something and they refuse it. Some of you are in WhatsApp groups and you see that there's refusers and stuff like that. You're all talking about it and stuff. And then you start seeing a trend.
Yeah.
Start seeing a trend that they're using the same boilerplate letters,
Identical letters.
identical letters. So that may indicate that that visa office is just giving boilerplate letters. So you see that those trends, and if you see those trends, then maybe it's time to challenge that decision because there may not be ra- rational basis for those refusals. I sometimes because what we've done sometimes is that we've litigated some cases, people that want to challenge refusals, and then we challenge this case, we win them or get them settled. Another person comes, same thing, same type of wording. We know that they're just using boilerplate. We challenge that one as well. We challenge that one as well, and then we win all these cases back to back. But again, I'm just saying that if someone is refused a visa, if you just think that there's something wrong, something has gone wrong here,
Your instinct will tell you.
your instinct will tell you spend that extra money to do a consultation and see whether there's something there. Because if just reapplying for you doesn't resolve the situation. In that case, the option may be to challenge it. And it may be that your case was not strong in the first place and they refuse you. Then maybe you want to make it stronger by reapplying and then addressing the deficiencies. So very important. If your instinct tells you there's something that went wrong, challenge this
So
issue.
some embassies are notorious for refusing, and it's public information. You can Google it. Some embassies around the world, the Canadian embassies around the world, are notorious for refusing student applicants, visitors applicants, even permanent residence applications. Nairobi is one of them. The Canadian embassy in Nairobi is one of them. It's very notorious for refusing applicants from Africa on boilerplate letters. If you're one of those individuals, reach out to us. Ghana has improved, but it's still the known for refusing permanent residence applications on grounds that are just unbelievable. So reach out to us if you find yourself in this situation, and we'll try our best to see how we can help you. We will advise you properly.
So for those of you that are joining us, because I know that new people are joining us, so I always try to repeat the disclaimer that we've mentioned at least 2 or 3 times now. Please know that the information being provided today is for general information purposes only and does not constitute professional legal advice or an opinion of any kind. For professional legal advice or opinion, please contact our law firm at our number. We already put in our number, our WhatsApp number, which is +1 613 799 7572. Again, +1 613 799 7572. And I've always also put up our website, which is ottawaimmigrationlawyers.com, ottawaimmigrationlawyers.com. And I've also put up our email address as well. Okay. And you can find all this information on our YouTube channel.
Thank you. Thank you for that. It's very important to always repeat the contact details because, we see a lot of fraudulent people out there, trying to post as, as the point of contact for Olalere Law Office, and we always shut them down.
Last 1 or 2 months ago,
2 months ago,
there was one that was trying to portray itself as being related to Olalere Law Office, and we had to issue a cease and desist letter.
and they backed down quickly because we told them we're going to drag them through the legal court and seek remedies for this, and the individual and organization backed down right away. So people like good things, but they then try to ride on your reputation. We would not allow that. And we've done that in the past where we issue cease and desist letters. So you know where to reach us. Again, +1 613 799 7572. That's our phone number and our WhatsApp number. And someone was asking, about, cabinet that is a cabinet maker. Can he immigrate to Canada? Again, reach out to us for a consultation on that. Canada is always looking for skilled trades people. So, but you need to contact our office for an independent consultation to assess your situation and see whether you're likely to meet the requirements. So reach out to us, please, for a consultation.
That way we can assess your eligibility for any of Canada's immigration programs. Okay. So
someone just mentioned that that we have a diverse staff on our team. We have people from that speak various languages from different parts of the world. Like I speak Yoruba, I speak English. We have a staff member that speaks Hindu and Urdu as well, and English. We have one person that speaks Igbo too, Igbo, and we have a person that speaks French as well. So we have a diverse set of team members. All of us work together to make things happen for our clients and stuff like that. We do our very best on every client's application. Please, if we did not request a document from you, please don't forward it to us because we just delete it. We only get documents from clients. So please don't send documents to us unless you have specifically retained our law office for a specific service. Then we would tell you to send us your documents, and we would tell you what email address to send it to. But if you send it to us without being a client of the law firm, we don't even open it. We just delete it off our email. Okay. So again, today's topic is about visa refusals. How to avoid visa refusals. We've talked about full disclosure. We've talked about providing genuine documents. Okay. uh, if your circumstances change during your application process. So I'll give you an example, just a general example. Someone, applied as a single person, is actually single and applied for a visa, permanent residence, and then, along the way, 2 months later, got married. That circumstance has changed. You have to update the visa office with your change of marital status, and also fill the correct application forms, because if you fail to disclose that, your application may be refused. And even if is approved later on, if you try to, for example, sponsor your spouse to Canada, then that person will be found inadmissible, i.e., the person was never disclosed. Number two, the person was never examined. Like, they did not do medicals, they did not do criminal checks, and you did not provide that information. So they'll be banned.
They'll be excluded.
Excluded, actually. That's the correct
They'll
word.
be excluded from the application and stuff. So it's going to be very difficult for you to bring that person in. So what you have to keep in mind is that you yourself that didn't disclose your change in marital situation, the immigration department may end up coming after you to try to get your permanent residence as well. So situations like this, I've seen it happen. Will be, in some cases, actually, in all the cases I've had to deal with, I've been able to successfully fight these type of cases. But they are very, very tough cases, and it's very expensive when you have to fight these battles, these legal battles. So why waste money? Just disclose from the beginning, so you don't need someone like me to help you to try to fight the case later on and spend money to help you to fight this case. So I always try to help people to prevent having to spend their hard-earned money on things that they don't need to spend money on. So, for example, just if your marital situation change, your marital situation change, just update your file. That saves you thousands of dollars in legal fees down the road. So update your file. They don't say, oh, because I don't want them to ask for more documentation. I don't want them to ask me to fill out more forms. I don't want them
I
to.
don't want my application to be delayed.
I don't want my application to be delayed. So I'll just get landed and become a permanent resident. And afterwards, I was sponsored by all these things. Sometimes people concoct it up in their head, but they don't know that it has legal ramifications. So now you're landed, you're now a permanent resident, you want to bring your spouse, you have a problem. Another problem, they may even come after you because you lied in your application. You did not disclose that information. You omitted that information. So you see the two legal problems out there. So
If the wife is even pregnant and expecting a baby as well, again, that's
exactly. So disclose that, so at least when the child comes and stuff, update the file. So that all these things are very important. There are simple things that people should think about, but sometimes they don't think about it, or events of life make them forget to update their file. So very, very important. Always be upfront in your application. Okay. So situations like that happen, but we don't want it to
yes.
to happen. So that's why you're joining the YouTube channel today, to get a lot of general information for free and stuff. Again, this is not a consultation. We can't provide specific legal advice to anybody. This doesn't pertain to a specific person.
Okay, so like we mentioned earlier, we're both Canadian immigration lawyers. We studied here in Canada. We went to university here in Canada. We went to law school here in Canada, University of Windsor Law School. We are located in Ottawa, which is the capital. Some of you know that Ottawa is the nation's capital. Some don't know, but Ottawa is the nation's capital. We're located downtown in Ottawa. I always tell people that the actors, oh, does that mean you only represent clients who are in Ottawa? No. We are an international company. We have clients from all parts of the world, from China to Nigeria to India to Ghana to
the Caribbean,
to America. Can you believe it? People from America want to immigrate to Canada too as well. But I don't blame them. The crime rate in America is very high. So I want a safe environment to raise their kids, and also have a career as well. So all parts of the world, from Philippines, we've had clients from Philippines, from Malaysia, from Indonesia,
we've had clients from over probably 55 countries. right now
85 countries.
over the
So
last 18 years.
so the good thing is that technology has made things very, very easy, right? So you have the email there, you have the WhatsApp, which is
Zoom,
Zoom,
Skype.
Skype, they're all free. So these are platforms that we also have adopted to make things easier for our clients, right? So if you're in any part of the world, we'll be happy to represent you if you retain our services. So technology has bridged the gap and the distance.
So, and keep in mind, like, we're here on Sunday here in Ottawa. Woke up very early
Yes.
to sort of meet you and, share some of the knowledge that we have with you and provide you information. So, support our YouTube channel. There's many ways you can support our YouTube channel. So, please do support our YouTube channel so that we can continue to provide you free information on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, support, donate to maintain this website, the way to maintain this social media platform as well. So we appreciate it.
Yes, yes, yes. And we saw this as a medium to reach out to as many people as possible because in many countries around the world, YouTube is a medium that people use to know what is going on also around other parts of the world. So from 17 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers today. My brother just informed me. So I'm very happy about that. So that tells you that there's a need out there for genuine information and for genuine representation. So reach out to us if you need our legal services. We'll be happy to provide them to you.
So we have about 8 minutes left on this YouTube live. So if there's that question that you have on your mind that that you think, some people think, oh, this is a stupid question, but I don't want to ask this question. It looks like there's no stupid question.
Stupid question at
Yeah,
all.
every question is important. So if you have that question that you have in your mind at the top of your mind, please, you have 8 minutes. I think it's less than 8 minutes now too. So it's almost like 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So before we end this YouTube live, if there's one friend that you've been trying to wake up to join you on this show today, quickly we call them up because we're rounding down, and it's going to be in the next 7 minutes that will be ending this YouTube live. Okay, but we're going to archive it, so people that want to watch this YouTube live video afterwards, you'll be able to see it and just look at it and get some information from there. Okay.
Exactly. So it's a nice Sunday here in Ottawa. Very bright, very nice. A little bit chilly, but not too chilly. So Canadian weather is when it comes to September, late September, it becomes starts getting cold a little bit, right? And then in December you see the snow falling. Sometimes even in November, right?
Yes.
So you see the snow falling and it's so beautiful. I don't like the snow, but my kids love it. So and they try to participate in the winter activities as well. But I've learned to live with it. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. Weather conditions. You dress appropriately. When you are here in Canada, dress appropriately. It can get a little bit chilly. Okay, but life still moves on and things still get done. People still go to work. Just find activities that you can do during the winter that will keep you occupied uh, during the winter as well.
So as we wrap up today, I just want to encourage you guys to not give up on your dreams.
Yeah,
Never
never give up.
never give up, never give up. So what you keep in mind is that the decision that you make today can affect your future generations as well. So look, I'll give you an example. Someone comes in as a student, like my dad, gave birth to us in Canada. We became Canadian citizens. Then we got married, sponsored our spouse. They came in as permanent residents. And then later on, they became Canadian citizens. And then the future generations, we have children now, and they're Canadian citizens. And then let's say we sponsor our parents or family to Canada, then they too we have status. So this is a whole intergenerational thing. So it happens generation. So that's why you can't give up. Okay, that's one reason why you can't give up, because one person has to fight the battle first. That came as a student. He fought it, and it was a rough time for him. He did a lot of different jobs just to make ends meet. Imagine you're new to a country, there's no father or mother to support you,
And you have
and
to attend
and you have
school.
to attend school, and then suddenly you have two children too that you have to take care of,
Twins.
twins. So can you imagine the stress we would have gone through to sort of get us to this point? So that's why you can't give up, but someone has to break break the ceiling, if that's what I can say. If
Exactly. Someone has to create the path, and then the others just follow, right? So that's been what we've seen with our clients. Like we are seeing the third generation now, right? And then the father comes, the wife comes, they get married, have children, they're growing up, kids are growing up, and then they're getting married and sponsoring their loved ones to Canada. So just to quickly answer the questions that I see on the screen here, we for legal services we can't provide we can't say this is how much we're going to charge. It depends on your situation. Each person's situation is different. That's why it's very important to reach out to our office, +1 613 799 7572 for a consultation. We're on WhatsApp number. We're on WhatsApp at that number as well, +1 613 799 7572. We have an individual that says they apply for visa twice, their brother. What are their chances of getting a visa? That would require a consultation. So reach out to us as well. We need to know the particulars of what the situation is, why they were refused, and stuff like that, and then be able to properly advise them.
Exactly. So, and then just to add a little bit more in terms of someone that's been refused visa multiple times, it doesn't mean that you won't be that, oh, all hope is lost. The fact that someone has been refused visa even two, three times, four times, it doesn't matter to me as much. I just try to understand why the application was refused. I understand more about their situation, and then I will try to see what they were doing, what they've done wrong, or they're doing wrong, or what their strategy should be going forward. So the fact that someone has been refused visa doesn't mean they can't be approved in the future. I've done application where people have been refused two, three times before they came to us, and we were able to see what the problem was, address it, and they were able to get visas and stuff like that. So don't lose hope because you've been refused two or three times. Yeah, it makes our work harder, a little bit more complex, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. So don't give up hope on that. And in terms of when people ask me, "Oh, how much is your legal fee? How much is this?" Like again, I'll give an example. If someone goes to a doctor and basically, you know, they ask the doctor, "I'm having a headache." The doctor may ask, "What about what? How does this headache affect you? When do you have headache? What is causing you? What do you think is causing?" So it may be different causes and stuff like that. So that would determine what the doctor will prescribe and how much the prescription will cost. So for me to say this is a legal fee is kind of very difficult because I don't know what the person's situation is, what their circumstances are, and then just quoting a fee off the top of my head, it may be the fee may end up being too high or too low or just right the right amount. I don't know. So that's why another reason for the purpose of a consultation. So we did a YouTube video on the difference between consultation and retainer, and it explains to our viewers, if you look at that video, what a consultation is about and what we do in a consultation as well. So we can't just mention this is the legal fee for a particular service. Okay, so that's why we can't do that. Okay, so we have about just exactly 1 minute left. So I will take one more question before we wrap up today. But I'll just read our disclaimer again. Please note that the information being provided is for general information purposes only today and does not constitute professional legal advice or an opinion of any kind. For professional legal advice or opinions, please contact our law firm and be provided our contact information. For those of you that joined us late, it's +1 613 799 7572, and our website is ottawaimmigrationlawyers.com. Okay, so we have 20 seconds left, and I think
So we just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you soon. Be on the lookout for our next date for YouTube Live. Please spread the message, share it with your friends, your colleagues, and everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe and
Au
like this.
revoir.
Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe and like this YouTube
YouTube
channel
channel.
and make comments below. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.